All right, let's dive into something truly ambitious. We're talking about the blueprint for Project Antaryami. And look, this isn't just another housing development. It's a vision for a massive, interconnected eco-colony that's designed to be, well, completely self-sufficient.
But that right there brings up a huge question, really the core idea of this whole project. I mean, could you actually build a city that powers itself, heals its own people, and pays for itself? A city that generates its own power, offers wellness from cradle to grave, and has its own economic engine to fund the entire thing? Is that even possible?
And we're not talking about some small, off-the-grid commune here. Get this. The plan is designed to support a staggering 100,000 residents. I mean, that's the size of a small city. And that scale, well, it makes the whole self-sufficiency challenge absolutely monumental. Okay, so if you're going to make a vision like this a reality, where do you even begin? Well, you have to start with the foundation. And for a city, that means power. You simply can't run a community of this size without an absolutely colossal energy infrastructure.
Yeah, just take a look at these numbers. We're talking up to 88 megawatts of power during peak times, and annually, that's nearly 580 gigawatt hours. That is an incredible amount of juice needed to power everything. Homes, a yoga center, a hospice, all the facilities, the whole shebang.
So the big question is, how do you generate that much power without just plugging into the national grid? The answer is a really smart, diversified renewable strategy. You can see the breakdown here. It's leaning heavily on solar, that's the big 70% chunk, but it's also backed up by wind power and even biogas from organic waste to make sure the lights stay on 24/7. It's a hybrid approach. Okay, so, as you can probably guess, building a green power plant like this is not cheap. The total investment needed is, well, it's a jaw-dropping 1,170 crore rupees. That's about 142 million US dollars. It is a massive, massive financial commitment. No two ways about it.
But here's what's really interesting. This massive investment, it's actually designed to be highly profitable. I mean, look at these projections for investor returns. Even in a conservative worst-case scenario, we're talking a return of over 22%. And if things go well, it could be over 38%. That means a payback period of just 3 to 5 years. So this isn't just some feel-good environmental project, it's a serious, financially sound investment.
So, once you have that power infrastructure locked in, you can start focusing on what it's all for. The human side of things. And that brings us to the real heart of Project Antaryami, its wellness ecosystem. And when they say wellness, they mean it in the broadest sense possible. Just look at the scope here. The plan covers everything from a huge yoga research and training center for new professionals, all the way to a fully equipped hospice and palliative care center. So we're talking compassionate support from the beginning of a career to the very end of life. It's a complete circle of care.
And the goals they've set are incredibly specific and, frankly, super ambitious. They're talking about training 10,000 yoga students in just 5 years, and then making sure 90% of them get jobs. But it's also about community stuff, right? Like sports facilities, organic farming for healthy food, and, this is a big one, providing hospice care completely free for the underprivileged.
Okay, this all sounds amazing, right? But this brings us to what might be the most innovative piece of the entire puzzle. We've seen the green power, we've seen the social mission, but how on earth does it all stay afloat financially? Let's look at the unique economic model that's designed to make this whole thing work.
Because that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? Free hospice care, community centers, all this incredible green infrastructure. I mean, all of this social good costs a ton of money. So how can a project like this possibly pay for itself without just, relying on endless donations?
And here's the genius answer. The economic engine powering all this social good is a massive network of virtual assistants, VAs. People providing remote admin and tech support. The plan is to build out this platform and scale it up over 5 years. They start with a pilot of 2,000 VAs and grow it to a full deployment of 20,000 VAs all across the country.
And this is the crucial part. It creates this amazing, self-sustaining loop. It's a brilliant model, really. The VA network, that's a for-profit business generating real commercial revenue. But then the profits are managed by a nonprofit, the Antaryami Trust. And what do they do with the money? They reinvest it to directly fund the hospice center and all the other social projects. It's a business that literally exists to fuel a charity.
So, let's zoom out for a second and put all these pieces back together. You've got the power, you've got the wellness mission, and you've got this incredible economic engine. What does the overall blueprint really look like? What's the big takeaway here?
This little scorecard kind of sums it all up perfectly. Financially, the power project pays for itself in as little as 3 or 4 years. Environmentally, it avoids over 80,000 tons of CO2 emissions every single year. And on the human side, you've got a 90% employment rate for yoga grads, and 70% of the hospice care is funded by its own business. I mean, on paper, it's a completely holistic success story.
Which really leaves us with one final huge question to think about. Is this the blueprint for the future of sustainable communities? Something that can be copied and built all over the world? Or is Project Antaryami just a beautiful, one-of-a-kind dream? Something so complex and ambitious that it could never be built anywhere else? I guess only time will tell.